Welcome to another episode of Shining Stars. This is Chantel Taylor. I'm your host. We have with us today Vance Wyatt, District 14 County Board Commissioner. It is going to be a wonderful time to just hear the heart behind this young man's community service and to also learn what a county board member does for Lake County, Illinois. Vance, hi, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being with us today.
Absolutely.
And willing to come on and share with us all that you do as a county board commissioner. And also we consider you a shining star because when so many other young people, at 19 just get out of, finishing up high school and, the first year of college, they're moving on to other things, but you've chosen to stay in your community and help serve and run for the different offices. So just kind of share with us about how it's been for you being a young person, 7 years now in politics. What's it like?
It is definitely tough. Being so young, you don't have a lot of life experiences, and that's one thing that you do bump into, especially when I was 19 running for alderman. I had dropped out of college, decided to try to make a difference in the community, running against an incumbent that had previously beaten an incumbent. So it's, it was my ward happened to be one that flips on a regular basis, kind of like our congressional race.
Yes, yes.
I decided to just try to make a difference. Trying to, dealing with our not having a grocery store in the community, North Chicago, since we are a food desert there. Trying to deal with some of the crime issues that we have and making sure we provide jobs for people and economic development.
Right.
When I was away for college, I saw that there was growth going on in the middle of this recession that we were experiencing at the time. And I just decided, hey, I'm going to run for alderman and see if I can make a difference.
Sure.
Unfortunately, I wasn't successful in that race, but I was appointed to the library board, I want to say 2 months after the actual election, and making me the youngest library trustee in the nation at the age of 20. And then I decided, 2 or 3 years later, to run for park commissioner, which I was unfortunately unsuccessful at that election, but I was successful in 2015 when I ran for the second time for the park district, and I was elected, beat out the city treasurer, an incumbent that was there for 34 years on the park board, former park commissioner as well, and a few other people that had ran in previous elections that also had beat me.
Sure.
So I won by 2 whole votes. And really my election for Park District really showed that every single vote matters.
Exactly.
If those last two people didn't vote for me, the decision would have been decided by a flip of a coin.
Okay.
Literally.
Okay. Well, I would like for our Shining Stars viewers to understand Vance being a millennial, young person.
Yeah.
Actually, I've known him since 2011 from being one of my Facebook friends and seeing the wonderful things that he does in the community. And one of the things I remember being impressed about Vance on is wanting to serve on the library board after you had run for the position and didn't get it, but you were like, yes, I'm ready to do this. And so you stepped right into that.
Absolutely.
And I think that it was a wonderful thing that the Lake County Board did when, after here in Lake County, we had a wonderful public servant, Audrey Nixon, that served the North Chicago Park City community area, actually the whole Lake County unit area very well. And she served that position for 35 years. And when she passed away, out of 11 candidates that had come forward to ask to complete her term, Vance was the one that they had chosen to complete that term. And it is just an honor for you to be here today, Vance, and just to, have the opportunity to share with the Shining Stars audience, what's in your heart behind community service. I mean, you've done it now for 7 years, and Is it something that you would share with a young person to get into? I know you mentioned how you kind of transitioned right immediately from college without completing right away, but
Yeah.
you know, you sit here with your master's degree
Mm-hmm.
and you know, you do a lot of great things with the information that you've learned. But would you inspire a young person to go into
I
politics?
absolutely would. I think that, so I'm a part of a network called Young Elected Officials Network,
Okay.
and it's a good way to. I didn't know about that until last year, which I really wish I had that connection when I first got involved with politics, because it, like I said again, it is tough when you're young. You know, a lot of people say you haven't really lived you know, a long life, and a lot of different experiences, but I think it is definitely needed for more young folks to get involved. And the reason for that is because we have a lot of energy, and we need to focus it into trying to build up our community. You know, and just Illinois and North Chicago specifically, we see a lot of individuals that move out of the community that don't come back to the community,
Right.
and that's really a drain on the community as a whole, because we put, you know, the community puts all this money into their education through the high school, well, truly from K to 12 like I did, and then they don't come back. And then, you know, all that money that you put into that child is now going out the community.
Right.
So we really need to inspire our kids to come back into the community and help build it up. It could be from running for office, or, you know, starting a non-for-profit, or even just starting a family in the community and trying to take back their community block by block. You know, and civil service is absolutely needed, especially with younger folks. You know, we tend to not get involved in that respect, because of, you know, the same issues I had when I first got involved. But I will say that we really need to have more young youth involvement, because we are going to be the leaders of the community.
Right.
Not that much longer, you know, and if we don't take that initiative and get that head start, we're going to be set back. If you look at other communities, you have a lot more young elected officials that get elected. For instance, I think it's in Barrington. There's an 18-year-old that's elected to their school board. He's actually in college, finishing his degree, and he serves on the school board right now.
And is he probably? I could imagine that he's probably one of the leaders in making sure technology and all these different areas, you know, that you know the old guard just didn't pay attention to.
Absolutely.
For which I'm sure that that's one of the things that you're looking forward to doing because you cover North Chicago. Park City, and then like a cul-de-sac in Lake Bluff.
So I have North Chicago from Buckley over to 14th Street, and then in Waukegan I have from Elmwood all the way over, Elmwood to Belvedere, all the way over to Fountain Square. And then going down Green Bay Road, I go all the way almost up to Sunset, and then I go over into Gurnee.
Okay.
And then I have a cul-de-sac that's in Lake Bluff, which is about 13 residents. The district in total is about 35,000 residents, so a little bit over the city population of North Chicago. And then again, I have all of Park City. So that's the only town I have 100% of.
Wow.
And making sure between North Chicago and Park City, that's about 60 to 67% of the district population.
Sure.
So those are really important to make sure that those individuals are served to the absolute best. And then with the Waukegan, working collaboratively with my fellow county board members, along with Gurnee as well, to make sure that those constituents and also Lake Bluff get their services that they need.
Sure. So now, Vance, can you just share with us, taking us to March 20th? March 20th, you've got some tough contenders there. You've got, you know, a couple of people that are already, you know, known in the public because they serve in other offices, have served in other offices in the past, and then one serves, you know, right now. But can you just share with me, you know, taking us to March 20th, what is that like for you in regards to what you know that you offer different from them, and what you look forward to doing March 20th and beyond?
Sure. So on March 20th is the primary election for the Democratic primary. You know, what I offer to the district that my opponents may not offer or don't really offer, really is a new generation of leadership.
Okay.
We can continue to go back to do the thing we've always done, and we can continue to have the same thing we've consistently had, where we have a drain of resources in our community. Instead, I think we should be thinking outside of the box and moving ourselves forward. You know, going back to my time at the Park District, you know, there were a lot of different things that people said couldn't be done, but we did get it done. You know, people even with the library, they said that wouldn't be willing to invest into North Chicago. Well, they invested $3 million into the North Chicago Public Library, completely renovating it. We have a STEM lab and a recording studio now in there, and a business center that's actually named after Miss Nixon.
Wow.
So you have to think outside of the box and don't just be cynical about the old way of doing things, and look to moving ourselves forward.
And you really do have a direction where you can really see some streamlining happening, because unfortunately here in Illinois we face being double taxed. Like we have a county board and then we have a city council, and we have all these different areas of government that some people that just they don't even realize is out there, but it's on their tax bill.
Absolutely.
So you're a proponent to really help do as much streamlining as possible to help us as residents of Illinois, you believe?
Absolutely. I've been calling for, since I've been on the county board now, just looking at the tax bill, the disparity between different parts of my district. In Gurnee, for example, you have the tax rate's 10%. In North Chicago, you're looking at 18%. But you have a house that's worth $500,000 in Gurnee, and then have a house that's worth $120,000 in North Chicago. But they pay the exact same property tax bill right about this. It absolutely is awful, because you're paying over the period of your 30-year mortgage 6 times just in property taxes to your local government. So I think that we should consolidate a lot of local governments. Most people are talking about township, but I don't think that's the primary thing we should look at. The primary thing is school districts. That's the first thing. Is no one really wants to do it, but we have 52 school districts just in Lake County alone. In my district, I have 3 in Gurnee, I have 2 in Park City, 1 in Waukegan, and 2 in North Chicago, the portions that I have, and then 2 in Lake Bluff. And that's 52 different superintendents that are paying in excess of $100,000.
Right.
If we look at just consolidating to a local school district or countywide school district, you'll probably see a significant reduction in North Chicago, Waukegan. You'll probably see close to about half to 1/3 of your property tax bill cut immediately, just from school districts alone.
Wow.
That's not including any of these other special districts. You have sanitary districts in Lake County. We have 1 that's elected, and we have 3 that are appointed by the county.
Okay.
So you have mosquito abatement districts. There's there's drainage districts. There's all these various different local governments that if we just consolidate down, you'll start to see a significant savings in your tax bill.
Wow.
And we need to move that direction if you want to have real property tax relief.
Okay.
Of course, we can do. I'm really fighting for the seniors to make sure they get their senior exemptions, and also making sure that individuals in North Chicago, Waukegan, some of the poorest communities, even in Park City, know about that you can lower your tax bill by getting your house reassessed or appealing your assessment.
Sure.
Lake Bluff, Lake Forest. When I was on the park board, we got a lot of appeals from them. There was a house, for instance, that's worth $11 million in Lake Bluff, and they would get their assessment drop from $116,000 down to $55,000 every single year.
Wow.
So that's cutting their tax bill in half, and we should be able to do the same thing throughout North Chicago, Park City, and Waukegan, the people that really need those.
Sure. Thank you so much, Vance. You sound so well versed, and like you're just right there in the midst of the battles, and doing the best you can for the residents. What I would like everyone to know is Shining Stars exists because, again, one of our main themes is the heart behind community service. So outside of all that community service that you do, Vance, what do you like to do in your spare time? What do you like to do that, just brings you joy?
So I'm a tennis player.
You like tennis?
I was on the boys tennis team for North Chicago. I actually love to play tennis. Actually, last year, before I became a county board member, I joined the tennis league finally. And I was doing really well. I actually made it to the playoffs. But that's primarily what I like to do. Video games, as most young folks. Watching movies, traveling.
What kind of movies? Horror movies or dramas
or sci-fi, action.
Sci-fi.
I watched the new Black Panther movie just last week. I'm trying to work with Black Lives Matter to get some of the kids out to go see it, to sponsor some kids to see that as well.
Very nice.
Those are just some of the things that I like to do, and of course, just relaxing like normal people, having a barbecue or something like that, which I didn't get a chance to do this year, or last year I should say, unfortunately, as much as I want to. But those are just some of the things that I like to enjoy. I'm just a normal person, really. just
Right.
to have a fancy title, I guess you could
Right,
say. So,
right. A big title
yeah.
because again, Lake County has over
hmm
700,000
Yes.
people, and yes, you represent, the area that you
hmm
defined, inside Park City, North Chicago,
hmm
and a bit there of Lake Bluff.
Yes.
But, Lake County has, am I right,
Yes.
over
700,
700?
706,000, I think, people.
Wow.
$26.9 billion worth of taxable or value in just the land that we have here in Lake
Okay.
County.
Okay.
So, there's a lot of money here. We are the 47th richest county in the entire nation.
That's huge.
Yeah.
We're the top 50 in the whole
hmm
nation when it
Right
comes
here
to
in,
prosperity.
and right here in Lake County. And
Wow.
the biggest thing we need to focus on is trying to make sure we address the needs of the underserved. So that's from mental health individuals, people that are suffering from addiction, whether it be legal or illegal
Yes,
drugs, or
yes.
just substances in general. And making sure that we provide the necessary services. We have the money here.
Okay.
We should make sure that it gets directed to the right people.
Sure. So you just have, your hands full from, from sunrise to sunset.
Yes.
Be it a public safety aspect, be it a real estate tax aspect, be
Yes.
it a food desert as you described in North Chicago.
Yes.
There are there's a myriad of areas
Absolutely.
that you are right now having to represent the people that you represent and put your voice to, add to what will happen for the residents.
Absolutely. And then
That's
going
a
back
big
to
role.
the grocery store aspect of it, as I said, we are a food desert in North Chicago, and one thing I'm working on doing
That's
is
unfortunate.
with a veterans group. There's a
Okay.
veterans group that wants to help veterans that are suffering from PTSD,
Mhm.
and to do that, they're helping them by growing fruits and vegetables, and
Oh, okay.
having their own farm, even with animals. So what I'm trying to do is work with them, getting some land within Lake County or within North Chicago, and then have them sell those fruits and vegetables through a non-for-profit co-op in the city of North Chicago.
Wow.
Which is it's not a chain store like a Joe Lasco or an Aldi's or anything like that, but it's a step in the right direction, and it gives them the residents of North Chicago a healthy alternative than just going over
Sure.
to one of the convenience stores that are there or going over to Walmart.
Okay.
And this is something that's going to be unique for us, and the money that's spent there goes back into that co-op, and we'll be able to expand.
That is awesome. So, as a lifelong resident of
Mhm.
Lake County and the
Yes.
North Chicago community, as we begin to, wrap up our time here again, it just always goes so
Yep.
fast. And I just like to, for the viewers to just be able to hear a little bit of your heart and, what's on your heart, what's your focus, and, what's in your future. If you wouldn't mind just looking into the camera and just, just kind of sharing, what your hope is for tomorrow for our Lake County community.
Sure. So again, right now I'm running again for a full term for the county board. And some of the things I've been wanting to really push for is to make sure that we address the issues that we have in our community, from individuals that are suffering from recidivism or going back into reentry into the jail. So my plan for that is to make sure we offer tax credits for local businesses to hire individuals that have a past criminal history. That way we're not going to continue to have them go back into the jail. And that way they're being able to address their needs on their own by having a job and actually getting them off of, say, welfare or other local or other support programs that are available to them, and really making sure that they have an opportunity to change their lives. And that will in return promote to get more jobs, more opportunities right here in Lake County, and then making sure that they have training programs
That's
so that they
excellent.
can actually take high-paying jobs, not just a remedial job, say at a Walmart or a McDonald's or Taco Bell, but making sure they can get into an Abbott or AbbVie or Uline or Caterpillar. And then for our seniors, one thing I'm doing is sponsoring a breakfast with Oak Street Health. And we're going to be having services for all of our seniors there, and just different health services that are available through this organization, and then also looking at what we can offer them through the health department through Lake County.
One other thing just to interject, because the city of North Chicago right now is, March 20th, that's a big day. It's, it's a primary where not only is it you on the ballot, but it's, it's three other people.
3 other people, yes.
So just, as you sign off here, why are you the best one?
I'm the best candidate for this position because I have a deep commitment for the community of North Chicago, Park City, Waukegan, and Gurney and Lake Bluff, and in making sure that we have the necessary resources and we have the opportunities to grow as a community. We have to continue to think outside of the box and not continue to go back to the old way of thinking and offering a new generation of leadership to move our county forward.
Okay.
That's the key, and I think that as long as I'm reelected and continue to serve and as the county board commissioner, that we are going to move our community forward and the county as a whole.
Okay. Well, Vance, to be so young, you sound very well versed,
Thank
and
you.
you are definitely, making headway, making things happen.
Mhm.
I wish you all the best,
Thank you. I
and
appreciate
you're
that.
definitely a shining star
Thank you.
because you inspire young people to
Mhm.
just get right in there and start working.
Absolutely.
And so thank you for
you.
stopping by today. I really appreciate it,
Mhm.
and we just you have a bright future either way because
Thank
you
you.
are a great person, and thank you for inspiring us and your new generation of leadership. Let's see it come forth.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right.
And I am so happy to let you know that this is the conclusion of another episode of Shining Stars, where we have had the opportunity to have Lake County Board member District 14 Vance Wyatt with us today. I'm your host Chantel Taylor, and signing off of Shining Stars. Thank you.